Well, welcome back to the channel. I spent this morning probably 4 or 5 hours this morning racing to do a little bit of logging because it was misting out all morning, and I just watched the weather and it's supposed to start raining really soon, and it was just a race to get as much as I could get done before the rain showed up. And the stuff behind me is Eastern Hemlock, and I've been thinking about this project for quite a while, and I decided that I better get to it before the middle of the summer shows up. So these 9 logs over here, are 24 footers, and they're going to be the new roof for the sawmill shed, or you'll end up, I'll do a whole video on the sawmill shed build, but that's not going to happen till next year. But what I wanted to do is get these logs out. It's still, I would say, it's still early enough in the year that the bark, I think, will come off. And that was kind of the key. I wanted to get them out of the woods and peel the bark off before the bark in the spring, the tree is growing vigorously. The bark is not really attached very well, and you can peel it off and get a really nice look to it. The bark, later in the year and during the winter, the bark is really hard to come off, and you end up having to use a draw knife. I'm trying to avoid the draw knife. So the next step for these logs is to put them on some bunks one at a time, peel them, and set them aside for next year. Hopefully they'll lose some moisture and some weight. That's the whole plan, and it's been on the list, and I finally got around to doing it. So yay for me. And it's not raining yet. These other logs, I cut some of these to 13 feet because they're going to be cut into railing stock for the paddocks. It's always nice to have some of that on hand. Of course, horses chew through them or break them, or just have to replace old ones. So that's what anything that's 13 feet or longer is going to be cut into that. And I don't know what the other stuff is. It's just gonna had to come out of the woods, and we'll saw it into something. I'm not sure. The other thing is these logs were not all that nice. I looked and looked and flagged them. You can see the flagging still on some of them. And some of them are nice and some of them aren't. Like this one here, it's got some center rot. I'm still going to use it. And that one over there, I think I cut like 6 feet off till I got to that, and so it looks decent enough to use. But these hemlocks, they're being attacked by the woolly adelgid, and I ended up cutting several of these, which the tops were really thin, and they're going to die in a few years. So better to get them out of the woods and use them for something before they go bad. And yeah, just another thing that's attacking our forest trees. So all right, I figured I really wish I had somebody to film all of the stuff this morning. I just didn't have a spare moment to deal with videotaping stuff, because that adds at least twice the amount of time to a project. So didn't get to do it, but you'll see the project from here on out. All right, there's the update. I actually maybe take you out in the woods and show you where all this stuff came from. It's a pretty nice part of our woods. This is where I cut the hemlocks. They really like their feet kind of wet, and we've got a big, we're at the top of a big hill, and it's flat up here, and it's all the water always collects up here, and yeah, the hemlocks are really nice up here. Now I cut out trees that were being attacked by the hemlock woolly adelgid, and so I've been looking at the crowns to make sure that they were healthy. And I've been selecting mostly ones that have started, their crowns have started to thin out. This is one I didn't get to, but is on the list. And you can see up through the crown. You shouldn't be able to see up there. It should be just, yeah. So this one is being attacked by the hemlock woolly adelgid. And it's probably going to be taken out at some point. But I tried to selectively cut ones that were being affected. And there's more out there that you might be able to see some of the stumps way out there. They weren't just willy-nilly cutting trees. They were purposely cut so I could put them to use and before they died. I just thought I'd show you where in our woods I was cutting the trees. I'm a tree hugger, but I also have a sawmill, so kind of playing both sides of the fence. Just trying to be responsible about everything. I still have to come out here with a tank full of, and the chainsaw, and cut all this slash down so it's down at least like a couple of feet from the ground. It'll help it rot down and get back to looking kind of normal. All right, there you have it. Let's get back to peeling some logs. I got 2 logs set up on some old ratty old pine logs so that I don't have to work right on the ground. So I've got my axe here, and I was lent this peeling spud. I guess that's what it's called. So we're going to try and see if the bark's going to come off or not. All right, slow going. You can see it actually, whoop, you can see the grain is twisted and the bark actually wants to go that way too. But this is what I was hoping to achieve, is to peel the bark off and not have to use a draw knife. So I should have brought a PV with me. I'll have to go get a PV and roll these slippery things. What'd that take me? 15 minutes. So these are, the reason why I'm peeling them is because they're not going to be used until next year. I want them to dry out. And I also don't want the bark on there because insects will get under the bark and get into there. I don't even want that. I want them to, so by peeling the bark, they should last a lot longer. Now what these are part of the roof system of the new sawmill shed. And instead of, if you imagine rafters, which are perpendicular to the ridge line, well, these are actually going the other way. These are going to be parallel with the ridge line. And so there'll be no rafters like conventionally. They'll just be going the other direction. And I think I'm going to saw a flat on one side so that I can just lay boards right on down the roof. All right, that's 2. I have 9 to do total. So I'm gonna go take a break and move this one over. I'd like to get one more done today. That'll give me a third of the way done. All right, this is a lot easier than doing the draw knife. A former professor of mine, forestry professor, lent me this spud, bark peeling spud. I have to say it works pretty good. I thought at first it was going to be too sharp, but it's really, everything about it is right. The handle is not too short, and I think with this I'll be able to get all 9 of these things peeled, and I can check that off the list. Good morning. Last night I ran out of camera battery. I did finish 4. I think they look pretty good. And this morning, before I go out and ted hay, I've got to try to get this one done. And then we'll just end up with another 4 more. And we'll have all 9 done, and I can check this off the list.
All right, there's log number 5. What'd that take me? 10 minutes? That one actually went really well. That first one on the end, that was hard. I don't know why. Completely different. I gotta go get the tractor to load another one on, but I think I've got to, I gotta go think about getting the tedder set up. And this stuff will have to wait till later in the day. So stick around, we'll finish the last 4, and then I can check this off the list. Well, we're having camera problems, or downloading camera problems, so I didn't get to film the last couple of logs, but got them all peeled, and really they're just, this thing is done till next year. They're all gonna just sit here throughout the winter, and hopefully they'll dry out some for the rest of the summer. And this part of this project is done, so I can, do you hear the big check mark? I can check this one off the list for now and move on to another project. So thanks for watching. This should be interesting next year when I get to put this stuff up. I think it's going to look really amazing, and hopefully they'll be a lot lighter by then. So thanks for watching. I've got more videos coming up. I've got stuff in the queue, and I just need to get down, sit down and actually edit stuff. So stick around, there's more videos coming. Thanks again.